Again, man.
You too, brother. I see you guys been busy, man.
Right. Yeah, we've been a little bit busy. We're looking a little yellow in this light.
That's all right. We already got a little yellow.
We're looking like the Simpsons.
Doing, man.
All right, man. We're so excited to have you here.
Yeah, I was getting a little sleepy, man. It's a little hot in here.
A little hot. Are you back in Puerto Rico?
Yeah, I'm in the workroom back here.
Okay. Well, welcome home. So we've got a few questions for you. Just wanted to start out. We wanted to know how you got into Bkfc to begin with, because I don't really know your history before Bkfc.
Well, I fought as an amateur for a long time, pro amateur boxing, and then I did amateur MMA for a while in Illinois. I went pro. I came back to Puerto Rico and fought a pro here, and fought in Florida, for a couple different places. I ended up fighting at a place, Island Fights with Dean Toole. Well, I had my last couple of MMA fights there. They're a pretty big platform in Florida. A lot of guys are going to the UFC from there. And I had known Dean for a long time. I actually was sitting in his office one day, and he got a call, and he told me that it was somebody from the Bkfc's event. They was helping with matchmaking. And I was like, yo, give him a call, man. They put my name in there. I'm sure they'd love me. I think they'd like my style, And they called me like 2 weeks before the fights. And like, hey, you want to jump in? And I'm like, I'm down. Let's go. They told me I got a guy, Harris Stevenson. He got me on the red corner. I've been on this. My last fight was the first time I was in the blue corner. I came out there, got a surprise win, big knockout, and then I've just been slowly falling more and more in love with the sport ever since.
Well, you're good at it.
Yeah.
Okay. And I wanted to know as well, how young were you when you started doing amateurs?
Amateur boxing, I was 16.
Okay. And did you run a good bit of competitions in the area?
Yeah, I did really good. I lost my first 3 fights. I think I ended up with an overall record. I was like 36-9, I think.
Okay.
It was fun. I went on a pretty good run. I was 14-2 when I was in Puerto Rico. I did some ringside tournaments and stuff like that, and ended up doing a couple little smokers at some MMA gym, at some MMA competitions, and then I started doing MMA with that. I tentatively like doing MMA. I got invited to do it, and I was like, all right, I'll try it out, and I ended up falling in love with mixed martial arts and jiu-jitsu and everything that comes around, all the learning and stuff. It's just so much study and so much to learn, and such an art, And I started doing judo. I love judo. I did judo for about 6 years. I'm about to start doing it again. It's just a love of martial arts, because it's all about self betterment. It's just working on yourself. So it gets to a point in fighting where you have to become a better person to be a better fighter. There's levels to fighting. And it gets to a certain level that if you don't clean yourself up and like focus on what you're trying to do, like legitimately focus on what you're doing, but you're not really serious about it.
Oh yeah, I could see that. Would you say you prefer striking sports, or do you prefer?
Yeah, well, I really like mixed martial. I like mixed martial arts. I like when it comes to watching, I'd rather watch Bkfc. Really, it's the most entertaining. Boxing, I love boxing. I love the art of boxing, but it gets a little redundant and boring after a while, especially in championship fights. MMA, I love MMA, but MMA is the same thing, get redundant. And now, it's mixed martial arts is different than it was a couple years ago. Back in the day, it was kind of like a Wild West, and now it's been a little whitewashed a little bit. So it's not as quite as wild as it used to be. It's kind of there's a lot of drama when it comes to the fighting, but it's different when it comes to there's so many guys, there's so many guys. It's a different atmosphere, and it just doesn't hold me like it used to. On Bkfc, I watch all the shows, I watch all the fights. I fought, came back home and watched all the fights, watched a couple of them 2-3 times, So when it comes to watching fights and I'm not really a big fan of just sitting down watching sports. But when it comes to watching fights, I always watch all of Bkfc. You know, I was just watching the Total Line and watching the English
I was
guys.
watching that too.
Yeah, I was assessing their stuff. They fight differently over there, you know?
They do, yeah.
They fight different over there. It's interesting, the contrast of styles. You know, you can tell they've been doing it for a little bit longer. They're a little bit smarter with the bare knuckle.
Yes.
So you can tell they've been doing it for a long time. But yeah, it's interesting. I always check them out.
What do you think of Game Bread? Have you thought about trying that out?
See, the thing about Game Bread is mixed martial arts to me, and I'm not. I totally understand like the whole gimmick of it, you know, with no gloves, you know, it's different. But when you take the gloves off, like you kind of lose a lot of that dynamic striking with the hands.
Okay.
It's turning into like combat grappling, you know, it turns into like, you know, extreme grappling matches because that's most people don't want to get hit with bare knuckle, and if there's a way out, they're gonna wrestle the way out of it. You know?
Yeah.
So it ends up being a sport that favors the wrestler and the grappler even more heavily than mixed martial arts already does. So, you know, for me, I'd rather watch BKFC.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I feel that. Yeah. I love the striking in BKFC.
Yeah. It's action, you know. I do like mixed martial arts because of all the different moves and the complexity and you know the level of grappling and the sport, you know, the athletic ability and stuff like that. That's always fun. I sit down and still watch the fights here and there, but like I said, I'm not gonna sit. I don't really sit and binge the whole shows.
Yes. Well, with the thing with mixed martial arts also is the rounds are so much longer.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think people pace themselves a lot differently than they do at a 2-minute BKFC match.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's different pacing. Yeah.
Does it feel a little different when
you know
from BKFC versus MMA kind of stuff? When you're in the ring, how quickly it is, going down. I mean, the fights, with BKFC are a lot quicker, like you said.
It's like lightning. You know, it's like you spend more time looking back on the fight than like if the fight's just boom, it's done.
But for you, do you sort of see things in slow motion? Because I've heard some fighters get like a tunnel
vision. Yeah. Everything slows down. Everything slows down when you're in the zone. You know, everything slows down. It's not that it slows down. It's just you're taking the information in faster.
Yeah.
So it's really like a perception thing. You know.
You're right.
You know? But it's not really slowing down, but you're taking in information so much faster. That adrenaline's got you focused so much on what's in front of you that it seems like it's going slow motion.
Right.
Like you're able to go faster.
Getting hit with like a bare knuckle, versus anything with padding, does it rock you a little bit more? Are you throwing a little bit more?
Yeah. The dynamics of the impact completely change because of the bare knuckle, because you're compacting the muscle, the nerves in the face. That's not something you really have to worry about too much with. Even with that little thin layer of protection MMA glove makes it. I mean, it still happens in boxing. It still happens in MMA where you get that hit right on the nerve, or you get hit on the nerve or the neck.
Yeah.
The guy just goes down. It happens, but it's so much harder to really get that in there and touch that nowhere. And bare knuckle, it happens all the time. The guy jabs in the wrong spot, touching in the wrong spot. You see the guys just boom, they'll go flaccid, pop right back up again. You see a lot more flash knockouts. You see a lot. The reaction to the blows are different. And yeah, the dynamic completely different changes. It's like a crash. It hurts. It's hard. Bare knuckle hurts. Nothing else. All the other sports don't hurt. It's like a sport. It hurts.
Yeah. I wanted to know, speaking about taking in information fast, did Luis Palomino, after you fought him, what did you take away from that? If you took something away, did you train differently for your next fight? Or,
I learned from every fight, and that was a big learning experience for me too. Like I didn't really get hurt or anything. I didn't take it as a loss.
Right.
It's a loss on my record. It is a loss, but I didn't take it as a loss too, because in my mind, my mind wasn't in the right place to really push the way I should have. I didn't have my coach there with me. It's not to come up with excuses, but I just didn't. That's the edge that he had on me. His mentality was better than me in that fight, and you can't win. Even though I have great defense and I'm really one of the hardest guys to hit in the KFC, you can't win just defending. You have to attack. You have to push the pace. You have to be tired after the fight. You know, I made a point to be tired after this last fight. I purposely pushed the pace, put myself in a fight where I didn't have to fight like that. But I wanted to be tired after the fight because I'm never tired after my fights. Everybody's like, man, even the ref was like, you all right, Elvin? I'm like, no, I'm fine. It's fine. Like, you're tired. I was grappling and pushing the guy around, you know, really pushing that extra effort. But, you know, I wanted to prove even to myself that I could make that extra push. That if I needed to, you know, even if I didn't really need to in that fight. But it was a great fight. Julio made a very competitive fight. It was fun. I think he did a great job. I think for him, it wasn't really too much of a loss for him. It kind of like made his stock value go up. You know, he went 5 rounds. He was one of the best bare knuckle fighters.
Yeah.
And you know, he took a lot of big hits. He took way more damage than me. Like I'm still, and I'm fine already. But he took a lot of hits. And he was able to push the pace, still keep it competitive, land his own good shots, you know. So I'm looking forward to seeing him get back in there. But, you know, I made that fight like that. Anybody who's in the back with me or was in my corner or was in my training camp knows that I wanted the fight to be like that. So, yeah, I was really happy with it. But that's because now I'm willing to put myself in a position where I can possibly get hurt. I'm not trying to get hurt. I mean, that's not really how I fight, but I'm willing to go through anything to get that title shot, you know?
Yeah.
I'm preparing myself. I'm saying that before the fight. And that's how I was going into the fight. Like, this is like a championship fight for me. I'm building myself up, you know?
Well, I love the way you said 5 more rounds at the end of that fight. You
yeah, because I wasn't even tired, and I realized, I'm like, man, I just didn't do enough. I really thought that he was gonna lose his composure. It's hard for people to keep their composure with the way that I fight.
Yeah.
But Palomino, he's a champion. He's such a professional. Even though it was his first fight, he was able to keep his composure. And I wasn't willing to push the pace. I was okay with just coasting and playing it safe. And I knew he wasn't gonna be able to hurt me. So I was like, I'll just wait for him to make a mistake and I'll land something. And then when the fight ended, I was like, the fight's over. And, you know, he did more than me. He won that fight fair and square. He did more. He pushed pace more. He did everything. He didn't hurt me. But yeah, that's how you win the fights. You gotta win more. So that was a learning experience for me. And it showed coming into the Caleb fight because I came in the Caleb fight pushing the pace, you know, and then I've been with the Brad Kelly fight, I'm pushing the pace even more, you know. This last fight, we were expecting me to move around like I always do, and I was in his face the whole time. I really didn't know what to do. So he was just kind of winging it because he just didn't expect me to fight him like that, you know. And I want to be unpredictable. I still have a lot of stuff that I haven't shown yet. So I said for me, it's just, I'm building myself up. So even though I lost that fight, it helped me. You know, it was a learning experience. It's a new sport. I didn't get hurt. I knew exactly why I lost. It wasn't because of a lack of ability. I wasn't, you know, we're 2 world-class fighters. And I didn't lose that fight because of a lack of ability, so because of the mental aspect of the game and the willingness to push, you know, the willingness to go out there and take that risk, you know. So, you know, I live and learn, move on to the next one.
Well, yeah. Speaking of your next one, you came out like an animal. you were like even more energized. I could tell.
Yeah. I came out. I actually, if you watch my fight with Caleb, I came out on the line and I stepped back for a second, and I was like, wait a minute, I can't just do what I always do, and I immediately just threw like 3 hooks in a row, push him forward, and then I was like, okay, it's gonna be different this time. I'm gonna be the one pushing the pace, and I've been trying to be the first one to attack, first one going, every fight, every time, just be offensive, because a lot of people complain about my fighting style because I don't get hurt. You know, but if you look at my fights, I throw a lot of punches. I hit my opponents. You can ask my opponents. I hit them a lot. They get hit a lot, and it hurts. You know, and I fight nothing. I haven't had an easy fight. They haven't had one bum. Julio Garcia is he was WC champion, the world class boxer. Before that, Brad Kelly was one of the toughest dudes in the whole area. Before that, Cale Harris. Before that, I fought the champ, and before that, I fought Jim Alley. And my first fight was against Harris Stevenson, who just fought at 185. He's huge. He's a huge 165er. He was probably one of the hardest hitting guys I fought. And he was the favorite guy to fight. So, I've never had an easy fight. I had to earn my place in this division, and this sport. And that's what I've been doing. I'm already healed up. My hands never got hurt. I'm ready to go.
Ready to go again.
Yeah, what do your kids think of your job? I guess
the kids.
Yeah.
They don't mind it, man. They think it's funny. I came back and I watched.
Do you think you're like a superhero?
I mean, it's funny because like they've been raised, since they were little with me. So it's like this is what I do. They think it's cool, and they really enjoyed my last fight and the fight before that.
Yeah.
They loved me coming out to the One Punch intro. And
yeah. You watch the show with your kids?
Oh yeah, they love that. I came out because they asked me to, so they're like, "Oh, you really played it?" I was like, "Yeah." They really enjoyed that, and they enjoyed the pace of the fight. They've been watching. They watched my live. When I fought Brad Kelly, they watched it live. I was really surprised. Their mom she's like nervous to watch it live, and she sat down. She was so confident because we've been training so hard.
Yeah.
She was so confident. She sat down and watched the whole thing live, and I was like, "Wow, you really sat down and watched my fight live?" But the kids enjoyed it. The kids have been enjoying the fights, and when I got knocked out, it was funny. I came home and Kel was like, "Man, you got knocked out." I was like, "Yeah."
Your kids are roasting you.
Yeah, like, hey, it's what it is, But they don't mind it. They watch it. They like watching the fight though. They know Dad's a fighter, So there's certain aspirations, to be shadow boxing and stuff like that. But
do you want them to try a combat sport of some sort?
I mean, they have to at least know how to defend themselves because they're my kids. But
are they like learning karate or something?
No, I would like to teach them just a little bit of boxing and kickboxing, maybe. Probably good too, but I think just a little bit of, just striking, maybe some judo. I would love to see some judo. I love judo as a self-defense.
Yeah.
So I would love to see some that. It's great. It's great body conditioning too. So.
Well, there's a little bit of judo action in your Palomino fight at the beginning of it, right?
A little bit of everything.
It was accidental, but you knocked him on the ground a few times.
Oh, you talking about Julio?
Oh yeah, Julio.
Yeah. Well, there was the one time where we were punching and I turned and he just fell. And I was like, "Yeah, he fell." He looked down. He was already going down, so I was like, "Go down."
Oh yeah, what do your parents think about this?
My parents, they think that it's good that I've stayed with fighting all these years. I never give up on my fighting. My parents, they were neither very supportive nor were they against what I was doing. They just kind of let me do it. They're like, "You want to do it? Go ahead, do it." And they give me the opportunity to kind of do that. It's not that they didn't want me. Like, I don't think any parent really wants their kids to get punched in the face.
No, right, no, but I mean, do they watch your fights?
Oh, they watch them. Yeah, they watch them now. Yeah, they watch all of them. They watch them live.
Okay.
Surprisingly, but they have their confidence in me. Even my dad, he loves watching my fights. My wife, my dad always gives me a hard time, but he loves that I've been just never. He loves the fact that I never stopped fighting.
Yeah.
Do you ever switch up your training after a fight, based off if you lost it or if you see any kind of new move?
Are you someone who studies fight film?
Yeah.
I do study a little bit, but bare knuckles a little bit different. So what I like to do is I like to look at my opponents, some film. It's always good to see how they move. Maybe a little bit of training. their background, and I like to see how they talk, and I like to kind of try to understand the psychology a little bit because I always
Right.
try to attack the psychology in the ring, try to frustrate my opponents. So I try to really, if I do come up with any tactics, my tactics are always they're not specific. I never really know what I'm going to do. It depends on what my opponent's going to do. I have kind of a narrative that I run in my mind of how I'm going to do a fight, but you never really know what the opponent's going to do. So I'm not one of those guys that has like a solid game plan. You know, I just kind of go based. I focus on my skill sets, but I already knew Julio comes from a solid background. He's a boxer. You know, boxers have that boxer's pride. He's gonna come in and he's gonna think that it's like boxing with gloves on. So my tactic was like, okay, I'm not gonna box him like a boxer, but I'm gonna make him fight. You know,
Right.
I'm gonna push him around. I'm gonna, you know, I might
I
get a
think you're
little.
good at making people come towards you.
Yeah, I'm gonna make him fight. Yeah, everybody, if you watch every opponent, they always say the same thing. They're like, I'm not gonna chase him around, and they just chase me around, getting punched in the face all the time.
Yeah. Well, especially last time, your tactic of putting your hands down really worked on Julio because he drew him in so many
it's
times.
just so hard to not want to hit me. You know, like once I have hands, I'm standing right there. You know, it makes it real hard. And I'm hitting. And the thing is that most of the time, if you watch, I'm the one going first. You know, so once I and I back up and I got my hands down, I'm kind of smiling. You're like, I gotta. I gotta hit this here, you know. So, but I do like I said, my main tactic was with my opponents to understand the psychology. So I understand the kind of person they are. So when I try to break them, I try to break them according to who they are. You know, I said not because me, as far as the fight tactic, as far as like my approach to the fight, it's always gonna be me. It's always gonna be my skills, my counter punching, my movement, my speed, my unorthodox angles, my trajectories and stuff like that, and my opponent dealing with it, and then my reaction to it. You know, it's way easier for me to do it like that than actually just worry about what the other guy's gonna do. So I'm worried about me, what I'm gonna do, and then my opponent's worried about what I'm gonna do, and nobody's worried about what he's gonna do, and then that's how I'm thinking.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Do you ever start like before you go into the fight? Do you ever feel like you've already won it, or do you kind of go in just like I'm gonna give it my all and see what happens, kind of thing? Or do you ever?
I never have like a see what happens attitude. I'm going to win, but I understand. I've been in the sport for so long, especially bare knuckle. I understand that there is no, especially in bare knuckle, there's no guarantees. There's no, there's no.
Yeah, we saw that with Ostovich and Paige Van Zandt. No one I personally knew thought Ostovich was going to win that.
I thought she was going to win. I knew Ostovich was going to win as soon as I saw both of them. I saw her and I talked to both of them. I was like, I kept telling my friends, I should have ran to the booth and just dropped all the money. I knew it. I was saying it all night. I'm like, dude, she's going to lose. And everybody's like, no. I'm like, bro, she's going to lose. And sure as crap, she lost. She looked like she never fought bare knuckle before.
Well, yeah, I think she deceived me from her little promo video of her training. It looked like she didn't give a shit. The cinematographer made it look like she didn't care about Bkfc. And that made me think that she wasn't taking it seriously, but we saw her performance in there and we're like, oh, well, we were dead wrong.
Yeah. I mean, this sport is so different, man, and I always tell people like, if you don't respect the sport, you're not gonna be here for a long time, dude. You know, you might be here for a little bit, you know, might be here for a good time. We're all gonna have a good time, but it might not last a long time, you know, because it's really rough. And when you're getting your face mangled and your body and your bones broken and stuff like that every fight, you're not gonna be coming back. You're not gonna come back. After a while, you're gonna stop coming back. You're just meat. You know, you're just flesh and blood. You know, a lot of it, we're like larger than life when we're up there. So we're just flesh and blood like anybody else. You know, if you get bludgeoned every fight, and I mean, you can only do that for so long. You know.
Yeah.
You know, I've been able to. You know, I'm going into my 7th fight. I'm sure I'm gonna be able to get it before the end of the year. Because I haven't been getting hurt, you know. And if they would let me fight the way I would want to, I'd probably have 10 fights smoke. You know, really, because I haven't really took any serious damage in the last probably like rounds that I've fought. So.
Yeah. How much say do you get in who you fight? Is it all up to the matchmakers, or do you have?
Well, you gotta take the fight, you know.
Right.
You gotta take the fight, but it's
Do
the
they have
match itself.
mandatories like they do in regular boxing when you've got titles?
You know, it's different. Well, they have rankings.
Right.
Whether they mean anything or not in any sport is, you know, it's to be debated.
It's a little subjective.
But they have rankings. But I mean, I don't really worry about any of that. You know, it's about what makes sense, what fights make sense.
Right.
A lot of people didn't think the fight with me and Julio made sense, but if you watch that fight, it did make sense. It was a great fight. It was a world-class boxer. It was a world-class fighter. And it was a great fight. You know, it was very technical. And, you know, we hit each other a lot. So it was great, you know.
Well, talking about making sense, something I don't think made any sense were those platformer fights with the gloves on. What was that about?
Yeah.
Well,
what were they thinking?
They were just trying to. It was like an experiment. And they were trying to bring a new audience. They were trying to.
But would none of those YouTubers have agreed to do bare knuckle? It's Bkfc.
Yeah, it was actually technically it was a different platform within the Bkfc platform. It was
okay.
Yeah, it wasn't Bkfc because that's what they were boxing. It was like a celebrity fight type thing, you know.
Okay.
It's
so
like
they were
fighter.
just doing it there with it. Okay.
Yeah, they were just interjected into the event.
Gotcha.
Okay.
As like a cross promotion, where they were trying to bring their audience to Bkfc. It was an experiment they did. I'm not the boss of Bkfc. I just fight, you know.
Right.
I really think the TikTokers that did fight did a lot better than anybody expected. And they all fought their ass off. None of them went out there and they all went out and really tried. And that's the best you can ask them for them because they're just, you know.
One of them said he only had 28 days to prepare for it.
Yeah, and they all tried. They all went out there and fought hard and fought to the best of their abilities. And I really wasn't disappointed. I was like, hey, they did good. They could have been way worse.
Right, but I was disappointed that they had gloves on at BKFC.
Yeah, it would have been nice.
And they weren't just regular boxing gloves either. They were big. What were they?
Yeah, they're like sparring gloves.
Yeah, sparring gloves. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's no chance we were gonna see a real knockout rather.
I don't know if people get knocked out sparring.
Yeah, it's true. But yeah.
Oh yeah.
But it's hard, you know, because they're celebrity guys, so it's not like they have the pedigree to just knock each other out, unless one of those guys is exceptional. That one guy that hit the other guy pretty good. With a blue face. Yeah.
Blueface the rapper.
He's the best one.
TikToker, yeah.
Yeah, he actually was throwing pretty decent, throwing some pretty hard shots.
Oh yeah.
Haven't they been talking about maybe bringing him back to do actual bare knuckle?
I think any of those guys, if they come back, they should do bare knuckle.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
Yeah, I'd love to see
that. That's the only thing that I really didn't like with the gloves, but you got to understand that bare knuckle is. I mean, even the MMA guys don't want to do bare knuckle. You know, they're like, you guys are crazy.
What did you think about that little miniature brawl after that fight?
Yeah, what is that? What's up with them having so many problems with people rushing in there and attacking?
I don't know. I saw a lot of people think it's a gimmick, but it's really happening. Like, it's not a gimmick.
Okay, well, I gotta ask if you know if the Jenny Savage thing was planned or not, where she came.
No, it was not. It was not.
Was it?
That was not planned. Even when Britain called out Paige.
Yeah.
And they that was like some WWE stuff. It wasn't planned. It was really spontaneous. You know, this is how Britain's always, you know, it's just kind of funny how she is. But that's just how Britain is, and that wasn't pre-planned. The whole thing with Jenny Savage wasn't pre-planned. Jenny Savage went all the way over there thinking that she was supposed to go up there and challenge her.
Yeah.
And it was a big mix-up. They all got really heated. Everybody was really mad about it. It was not. None of it was fake. You know, it was all real. The KFC is all real.
I've always thought that, but I have been hearing people
No,
speculate.
those are not set up. Especially the Jenny Savage and Brit. For some, they have real beef.
I wish that could have been explained more to the public. I still don't completely understand what it is. As Jenny Savage has said, apparently she believes that Britton Hart, quote, drunk commentated on her and like insulted her.
I don't understand why they have so much animosity towards each other. And I hope they. It's just. I hope they.
Squash it.
Squash it. Yeah, because it's unnecessary.
Have you ever had anything like that?
They're both cool,
in your
bro.
combat career?
Beef with anybody?
Yeah.
Nah, I never had really any beef with anybody. There was a couple.
You're too nice.
Yeah, there was one guy that I fought in Milwaukee. That fight's actually on the internet where I beat the crap out of it. It was a hometown guy. We fought at 1 o'clock in the morning. I knocked him out in the first round, but the bell rang. It was like he went down, his head hit the ground. The bell rang, and the ref just let him recover. You know, and then he got up, tackled with the ref. He went and sat down. The ref sat him down eventually, and I was like, dude, he's knocked out. And they let him keep fighting. And I beat the guy up for like another 2 rounds. It was a bloody mess. Just like typical Bandito when I let me get my way. I'm just pop, just hitting him, lighting him off. He's all beat up, like really beat up at the end of the fight. They ended up giving him the fight.
What?
Yeah, but it was kind of my fault. If you watch, my corner was being like super belligerent. My corner. By the time it wasn't even my corner, it was one of the guys that was with us, but it looked like he was in my corner, and he was being super belligerent, and I got in the neutral corner. I like spit out the ring.
Yeah.
I was like spit out the ring, and then I looked back, and the refs were like, "Oh, I spit on the refs, dude. I like spit on the refs. I spit on the judges." So I look back, and the judges are like, "What the hell?" So then that was like in the 3rd round, and I'm clowning the guy. I was just laughing, and it's just being super obnoxious. We were really young. It was like maybe like 24, 25. It was just being super obnoxious, like loud, dropping the dude, talking crap, and spitting on the judges. And then the ref, then they called for the other guy, and like a riot almost immediately starts breaking out. Like everybody starts fighting in the ring, you know, and like it was like the most dramatic thing ever. And whenever we ran into those guys, it always like they don't like it. But other than that, it was even my fault. Well, it kind of was my fault, but you know,
have you talked to that person since?
No, I never talked to him since.
You ever ran into them in the wild?
I ran into him one time, and they didn't want to talk to me.
I wonder why. Have you heard any news about this Bkfc video game? I've been hearing a little bit of rumors about it.
I've been hearing rumors. I mean, it sounds
some people
cool.
really scanned into it.
Huh?
I heard that some fighters, Jenny Savage said that she got scanned into it.
What?
Yeah. So what are
Really?
they going to ask you to do that?
Dude, they better get me on there. I want to do. They better have me like that, you know, like straight up.
Yeah. They gotta have the special moves. They gotta
have me like.
I wonder if they're gonna do that.
Yeah.
Did you ever play any of the old Fight Night games?
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if they're gonna have like a analog stick control for it or what.
Yeah. They could do it kind of like almost like the UFC mechanics, you know.
Yeah.
But it definitely has to have some pretty decent mechanics.
Yeah.
You know, it has to have.
I hope they let you bring your flags in the game.
Yeah, and they gotta have the hand endurance, you know. They gotta have.
Maybe I don't know if it's going to this, but maybe it's gonna have some sort of VR component. That would be pretty cool.
That would be awesome. I just got
your kids could be you in a video game.
I just got an Oculus. I'm getting this. It should be here like Tuesday. I got it for my wife because she watches a lot of anime.
Yeah.
She works a lot. Like I'm gonna use it too, but she works a lot. She does a lot of stuff around the house, and she watches a lot of anime on her phone. I was like, I'm gonna give you the Oculus so you can watch it like in the theater, you know.
That's so cool. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, because you can sit in the theater and just watch whatever show you want to watch. So
yeah, those things are awesome. We had one at our high school.
yeah, she needs to go escape every once in a while because she works so hard. So I'm not a huge fan of like escapism and trying to get away from anything. But some people work so hard. Like my wife, she works so hard. Like sometimes you just need a break, check out, and just enjoy yourself for a little bit. You know?
Was she a fan of combat sports when she met you?
No.
No.
But when she was with me as an amateur, she used to always corner me. She saw me win title fights. She saw me get knocked out. When I turned pro, she was one of the first licensed cornermen in Puerto Rico. She used to hand wraps for all the guys out here. I still remember her doing the hand wraps. And she was active in the sport for a long time. When we moved to Florida with the GCB company that I own now, to work on that company, everything was sparse, so it was hard for her to participate in it. So she kind of just fell away from being involved in it. But she's never stopped supporting me.
No, that's great. Some women just don't like when their men are in combat sports. I know.
Well, women, they're jealous. Women, when they love you, they want to be with you all the time.
True.
You know, they're jealous all the time. And fighting is like a lonely sport, and it could be as a selfish nature to it sometimes, especially when you're getting close to the fight, because all the food is about you, all the exercise is about you.
Yeah.
You gotta check your weight. You got everything's you, me. So it's like you're by yourself. You know, it's all. So there's a selfish aspect to it, even if you're surrounded by people. It's the nature of the sport. So it's hard for a lot of women to understand that and have enough understanding to let their man let the whole thing run its course.
Yeah.
But I'm lucky. I'm blessed, and I got a good woman that got my back. And,
yeah, you're a really lucky man.
Yeah, I've been blessed. Yeah, I have.
I think. Do you think the rare instances where there's like a fighter couple where the wife is fighting and their husband's also fighting, that it is a benefit?
I don't know. Sounds crazy to me.
Isn't that what Paige Van Zandt is in though right now?
Yeah, I know. It's Paige Van Zandt with her husband. Yeah, but
I think it's maybe hurt her?
Huh?
Do you think it's maybe hurt her though?
I don't know. I mean, I did see her that apparently it affected her psychologically because she was like jealous of her husband's wins, you know. But I mean, that was what she said. That's what she said. But I can see it being a benefit. But
because you get to spend more time with each other if you're both in the gym, I guess.
Yeah, but it just seems kind of like I don't want to work with I do work with my wife.
Right.
No, because I feel like I do work with my wife. Me and my wife run the company that DC Battery that I run. But it's not like I work with her, you know.
Right.
It's different, and I'm always with my wife.
Right.
And it just depends if I make it work. Like I said, fighting is a lonely sport, so I see it would be hard, especially when both guys are fighting.
Mm-hmm.
This would be really, really tough on everybody, you know, because even if fighting is a lonely sport, and even when I'm having real rough time on my couple weeks of my fight, I still got my support to focus on me a little bit. And she was like, "Oh, Elvin, he's not, he's getting close to this fight. He's fighting. That's why he's acting like that, and she'll help me out." But when you got two fighters and you're both like that, it's like shit, like
That'd probably be pretty hard on your kids.
Yeah, I can see that being pretty frenetic, and it's just stressful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm just glad my I got my wife at home. She works from home. She homeschools, and my kids get her all the time. They're spoiled.
Oh yeah.
I get my wife all the time. I want to see her. Usually, I'm usually home or I'm at the gym. So yeah, I'm lucky. I've been blessed. It took a lot.
If you wanted to bring your family to an event, does BKFC pay the travel expenses for them too?
No,
it's only for you.
No, yeah, for me and my coach. So we get one corner.
Okay.
Yep. Oh yeah, for someone. Maybe one day.
Right. Have you got in on this fighter pension thing they've been talking about?
No. I really like. I could probably live without fighting. I fight because I like doing it. Now it's part of my trajectory, but I already have plans for the future. I don't really need to focus on pension. I don't never plan on retiring. I want to work till the day I die. So
okay, so you're gonna keep fighting into your 80s?
No, I'm not gonna keep fighting, but I'm gonna be doing something. I'm gonna be working or being a trainer. I got my jungle camp in my community center. I got my DC Battery. We're thinking about opening a restaurant. We got a couple of group business endeavors that we're thinking about. So I already have plans for the future. When I'm not gonna be able to fight forever. And
Right.
that's really.
But you love fighting, right?
Oh, I love fighting.
So is there like a desire in you to maybe one day pass on your knowledge to a younger fighter?
Yeah, that's why I have the jungle camp. We're gonna be doing. They have a place. We're building a jungle camp right now. It should be ready by next year.
What does jungle camp mean?
It's a training camp just for bare knuckle fighting. It's for guys who do training camp just specifically for fights, for bare knuckle fights to get ready for fights. You come and do a training camp. We're gonna have the best experience and training and method available for guys to come in and perform to the best of their ability in a bare knuckle environment. So and then I also have my community center that I'm working on right now. I'm gonna be doing free classes for kids 6 to 18, boxing, jiu-jitsu 4 days a week. We're gonna be doing adult classes. We're gonna be defense, kickboxing. We're gonna be doing judo, jiu-jitsu. So I love teaching. I've always been a teacher. I've been teaching fighting since I was 18. And, now we're going back. Now we're getting back into it again. And that's part of already. I plan on staying in fighting, so I can't, so I die. So I can't fight no more. I'm still gonna be in the fight game because I have other abilities that I can use. My coaching and I, there's a lot of things that I could use besides my hands for the fight game. So I plan on staying in the fight game. I love this game, but I don't plan on retiring. I plan as far as stop just not work, go out to pasture or anything. I'm gonna work like that.
I like that attitude. That's awesome.
That's how I keep you healthy. When you stop working, you stop moving, you just die anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey man, I guess you could maybe also in the future you could like sell action figures of yourself. And
that'd be cool.
Like that, right?
That's the merchandise. My first promoter that I used to fight with, he's like, Elvin, you gotta get the Bandito hats for the kids,
Yeah.
The kids, and we got some goats. We gotta sell some goats.
That's a great idea. That's
We'll some goats, stuff like that. Some Pancho Power goats.
There you go.
Yeah, so it's cool to sell some merchandise. Hopefully, it'd be awesome if we could build our brand to a point where we could sell merchandise.
Oh yeah.
That'd be awesome. But I think the most important thing for fighters is to understand that they can't fight forever.
Yeah.
And there's life beyond fighting. So you have to set the groundwork for the future. You have to you have to think about the future. That's the reason that I moved to Florida to start this company with my friend. And once we started, I knew that I wasn't going to let it go because that was going to make my fighting easier. And then when the fighting failed, I still have my craft. I have a profession and a craft. So it's like you have to have a craft that people are willing to pay for. And not everybody can be a trainer. So you got to find some sort of, you got to have an exit plan. Because a lot of fighters end up working in somebody else's gym.
Yeah.
Which it's okay, but that's not the best exit strategy.
I can see that. Do you have what was I going to ask? Have you seen this sort of? I'll say it's kind of new. It's been around, but have you seen this thing that they're doing now, where they're having MMA matches in full medieval plate armor?
Oh, I've seen that. That looks cool. That looks cool. Yeah, with the sword and shield and everything. Yeah, I saw that. That looks cool. That looks painful though, man.
What would your medieval weapon of choice be?
I don't know. I mean, I would probably go for like a long sword or something. I don't know. Long sword style.
You be the Puerto Rican knight?
Yeah. I mean, it makes it be cool, but it's just too unwieldy,
Yeah.
Things can go wrong. Yeah, it's just sword and shield to keep it simple.
Right.
Fair enough to fight.
Right. Or you toss it away and just use your gauntlets.
Yeah. That's kind of cool. Get the spike gauntlet. I want spike gauntlets.
Yeah.
They had those. Those were a real thing.
Yeah. So cool, man.
Awesome.
Is there anything else?
I think we pretty much hit most of everything we wanted to ask. Is there any kind of final words I guess you'd like to throw out?
Yeah, any sponsors you want to throw out?
Well, always Go Combat, Scallywag Tactical, because they're my top sponsor, and Stripes Bar and Grill because they're a long time sponsor and they always got my back. I also have all my hometown sponsors:
Oh yeah.
Danny's Supermarket, Monavo Auto Parts, the municipality of Monavo. Just all my people. Just thank you, my family, my wife, and thank you guys, man. I really appreciate you guys. I hope you guys blow up.
Well, you're the coolest, dude. You're
Yeah,
our first guy we've interviewed, and
yeah,
you're awesome. You're
yeah.
just as cool as when we met you in person.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you were our first fighter we met in person.
Well,
Well,
technically Lorenzo Hine, because he was running
Yeah,
the
yeah, Lorenzo's
stand
cool.
there.
first
But
person.
Lorenzo was out here
all
training
the
with me
fights.
for this
Yeah.
fight. He was
Oh,
out
yeah.
here with me for this fight for a week. We got some really good sparring in.
Oh yeah. It was an absolute pleasure having you on, man.
well, there's one more question I wanted to ask him.
What you got?
Is there any interest in you versus David Diaz? Do you think you could go down to that weight?
No way. No
You
way.
think you can cut down that far?
If he fights me at 160, I'll fight him.
Okay, I think that would look like a pretty epic matchup, though.
It would be cool, but just David. The problem with David, yeah, it would be cool, like as far as marketing, because it'd be like Bandito versus, it would be kind of cool.
I love the bullet belts he brought.
Yeah, I can just see the bandana graphics everywhere. That would be awesome. But we would never. I can't.
You couldn't torture your body like that.
Yeah.
I can't get past 55 without like seriously hurting myself.
Yeah.
And David's is not a big dude.
He's short. Yeah.
Not a big guy. But I think 135 is
He
good.
used to be though. Have you seen his?
He's fat, yeah.
Like 3 years ago.
Yeah. He's come a long way, you know. I
Really
like those
impressive.
cool dudes. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Well, that was pretty much everything I wanted to know.
Awesome.
Hey, I
We'll have
appreciate
you on again one time because you're
it.
awesome.
You guys are always welcome. You guys are my people, man. You guys are always welcome to have me on. You got my full support.
Well, yeah, I just get along with you so well. It's like
Yeah.
you're just like one of the boys.
Oh
You're
yeah.
gonna see. You're gonna start coming up. Just don't keep coming up with new ideas, different themes. Don't be afraid to like change the direction of the ship. You know, like and if you find the hook or something that you're like, oh, this might be cool. You know, a gimmick, anything like there's no.
But we need to get him a top hat.
Yep.
We gotta get that first.
Yeah, top hat, and then whatever graphics, background, something silly, anything, some comedy skits, anything is funny. We got comedy guys, but you guys have your own style. And you guys are real charismatic and cool dudes anyway, and everybody in the big knuckle crew liked you guys when you guys were over there. So I think you guys are gonna be all right. You just stay at it. Keep learning.
Thanks so much, man.
You guys
You're
love
really inspirational to us.
Yeah,
Most
you
definitely.
love the sport. You know your stuff. You have the passion for it. That's important.
Hey, man, you're a great entertainer. So
I
it's
try.
just fun to get to know a little bit more about you.
I try. At least when I fight.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming on again as well. It's like pretty short notice as well.
No problem, man. You guys always got my support.
Okay, man.
All right, you have a good one, bro.
You have a great one,
How you
and
guys?
knuckle up.
Oh yeah.
You guys be easy.
Give them knuckles. See you, man.